All right, hey, it's Mr. Wink here. Today we're going to be looking at doing an MLA paper, and we've done an MLA paper, Modern Language Association format paper in Word, but today we're going to do it a little bit differently. We're going to use Google Docs. The thing that you need to remember is that once you learn how to use one particular word processor or for that matter a spreadsheet or presentation software like PowerPoint, that the other packages that are out there, the other software that's available to you is fairly intuitive. So you should be able to transfer from using one to the other rather easily, because the icons, the pictures that are used are very similar, and most of the time they do almost, or if not exactly, the same function. So it shouldn't be too difficult as we look at Google Docs today. And we're going to get started. We're going to be looking at creating the paper that you have on that PDF form. And we're going to take the PDF and get started on just doing the setup. How to set the page up, how to get double spacing set up, and where does the title go, where does the page number go, all that kind of stuff. It'll be a lot of fun. We'll get that done, then you can work on typing your paper, and then in the end we'll have another video for you that will show you how to do the citations and to close everything up and make sure that the paper is 100% accurate. Because that's how you get full credit, 100% accuracy, right? So hang in there, we'll get started, and we are about to go. All right, here we go. Let's get started. Hey, I've already opened up my Google account, but you know that you already have a Google account. We set that up at the beginning of the semester, and remember that's your Gmail account. And so you can go to gmail.com and open that up through the login that is there. Remember, your Google account is your student ID number at c-town.org. And then you use the same password that you use to log on to the system when you come to school. So we've synced those passwords up for you, so make it a lot easier. Here's the Gmail account. There's a lot of things that we can do here, but you notice I've kind of customized mine up a little bit. You could do that here with this settings feature. You can go in there and change some things if you like. But what we're focusing on today up here is this menu bar up here across the top. And the one thing that we want to look at today is the Drive. And we're going to go to our Google Drive. So we click on Drive. And that's going to open up all of the documents and that we've created with Google. Here I've got several documents that I've already created, and you can see those. And if I had some presentations or some PowerPoint or some spreadsheets, they'd be in there as well. And this lays out a lot like a drive. You can even go in and create some folders and things like that. The other thing you could do is you could click here and upload any files that you have that are on your hard drive. You can upload them to the cloud here, and this is what we'd be calling the cloud, where we have this stuff that's actually stored on the net and not really stored on our own computers. And when you do that upload process, let's say you upload a Word file, it'll actually convert that. You can set it so it'll convert it into a doc file so that you could use it in the program that we have here. It's kind of slick. So what we're going to do today is we're going to create that MLA paper, and that's a research paper that has to come into MLA format, and that paper will have citations, and it'll have references, and using our sources or our works cited page. What we're going to focus on right now in this video is the setup. How do we set it up so that it starts already creating in MLA for us? So we'll focus on the header, the heading, where the page number goes, title, double spacing, things like that. So what we're going to do first of all is create our document. So the first step would be to go to Create. And when you click on Create, you have some options here. You can create a document, you can create a presentation, which would be a lot like PowerPoint, a spreadsheet, which would be a lot like Excel, or a form, which would be like Access. The drawing program is pretty slick. If you haven't had an opportunity to work with that yet, that's a lot of fun. You would enjoy that drawing program. There's some neat features there. So we'll go ahead and we're going to click on Document to create a blank document. And notice that when it comes up, the first thing it tells us is this is an untitled document. Now it's a little bit different than what you've worked with before. Before, if you wanted to change the name of a document, you'd go to File and you'd go to Save As. But if you look at this menu, you don't see Save As anywhere on here. And the reason why is because it's automatically saving as we make changes. So the thing that I suggest you do first of all is change the name of the document. Otherwise you're going to end up with a folder with a whole bunch of untitled documents, and nobody wants that. So when you click on Untitled Document right here, it'll pull up a dialog box that allows us to change the name to the document. And I usually put the title of my paper in here. You can put what you like, but the title of the paper is Can You Find Me Now? And so that's what we'll slip into there. And once we click OK, you'll notice that same desktop, but now we have the title of our document right here, Can You Find Me Now? Okay, so now that we've got the document renamed here, Can You Find Me Now, we can go back and forth between our drive and this document by just clicking this return arrow right here. If we click that, it'll take us back to our drive and to those things that we've already created. And you'll notice right here at the top, it already is the file Can You Find Me Now that we've created. And we'll open that back up again. All right, some things that we want to do is, first of all, we check, just go through that process that we started with setting up an MLA paper. And the first is margins. So we can go to File, and we can go down to Page Setup, and notice that the margins are already set at 1 inch at the top, the bottom, the left, and the right, which is accurate. That's what we want to do. There are some other things that we could change here, but that wouldn't be appropriate for MLA format. So we'll click OK, that's fine. Then the next thing that we do is we adjust this header up here at the very top. Now the header is different than the heading, okay? The header is this space that's at this top margin up here. And there's a couple of different ways that we could go back and forth between that space and the body of the paper. We could go to Insert and click on Header, and that will open up this top space up here. And then we could, we could double click. We double click in the body, and we're back in the body, and we double click in the header, and we're back in the header. Okay, so here we are in the header, and we know that in the MLA format our last name and the page number need to appear on the far right. So we'll use this button here to right align. We'll click on that, and that sends our cursor over to the far right and type in our last name and a space. Then we need to insert our page number. The keyword there is insert. All right, so when we go back and we find the insert menu here on our menu bar at the top, you'll see that it says page number, and we can click on that, and we can click at the top of the page, and it's going to put that page number right there next to our name, right at the top of the page where it belongs. Now that is all that is to appear in the header. Okay, the heading is totally different. That goes in the body. So now if we move down to the body and double click, now we're back here. We're back where we started in the body. And now this is where we want to start to double space. And this is a familiar looking button right here to what we saw in Word before. If we click that button and then we click to go 2.0, that's going to create our double spacing for us. The other thing we have to do is we have to go back and we have to make sure that these all say add space after the paragraph or before the paragraph, because we don't want any extra spaces in there. If that had said remove spaces, we would want to turn those off. So that's how we do that. So now we're set for double space, and now we can begin to type our heading. Okay, so with the heading, we want to make sure we have our insertion point up here at the top left-hand corner. And then the first thing that goes in our heading is, you remember, as we step through those steps of laying out the MLA paper, is our name. So we'll type in our name, Mark Winkleman. Now as I hit enter, it should give me my double space, and it does. Now you type in the teacher's name. In this case, it's the same person, which is, kind of unique. Then we jump down another, and this is the name of the class. Now your class is Interactive Technology. And I like you to put the period number in here too, so that I know exactly what period you're in. So if you're in period 7, you would type period 7. And then we have the date. And I always ask you to spell out the date. Don't put in any abbreviations or any numbers or anything like that, but to spell out the date. That's the appropriate way to do it. Now we're here at this line. We've got our heading in, and then the next line would be the title of our paper. The title we already know because we named our paper the title, Can You Find Me Now? But the title is supposed to be centered here in the middle of the page. So again, we could go up here to our paragraph buttons, and we'll find the center button, the center align button, and we click on that. And now we can type in the title, Can You Find Me Now? Need to use correct punctuation here because that is a question. Even if it isn't a title, it's still a question. We need to use that. Notice that when you hit enter, we get our double space again, but we're still on the center paragraph mark. So what we want to do now is go back and left align our paragraph so that we go back to the other end of the page. Notice the type margins we have. We have the 1-inch margin over here, the 1-inch margin here, and then the 1-inch margin across the top. This doesn't show a margin above it because this is actually in the margin, and that's where it's going to be printed. Now the next step is a key step. Yeah, you know that you need to indent 1/2 inch at every paragraph. However, there is an easier way to do that. If you don't want to use the tab key, you don't have to. And I use these little tick marks up here at the top. The bottom one stands for the left indent, and the top one stands for the first line indent. And if I click on the top one and drag it over to the 1/2 inch mark, every time I start a paragraph, it's going to indent that paragraph for me. It's pretty handy. And then here is where we would start to type our paper. And as you type, you notice that you'll notice that what we have is called text wrap, and text wrap will automatically take us down to the next line. The one thing that you absolutely do not want to do is hit enter at the end of every single line. When you hit enter at the end of every line, the computer thinks you're actually entering in separate paragraphs. And so when you try to go back and edit your paper, well, you have all of these paragraphs, the computer's confused, you're confused, and it just doesn't work. I've even seen where students have hit enter at the end of the line and then enter again to create a blank line and call that double spacing. That doesn't work either. And you want to make sure you don't do that because it really will affect how your computer document or your paper document, how to edit it and things like that. So you can see as I've typed in this text, that it's automatically gone down not only to the next line, but it's also created my indentation for my paragraph. So this is where you'll type in the rest of your paper, and you'll want to use the PDF that's attached with this assignment so that you can copy that paper virtually word for word, and hopefully in the end it'll come out looking exactly the same. Now you'll want to go to video number 2 to see how we wrap up this paper. Hey guys, good job, hang in there, do good work, and it'll pay off.